Silence is the loudest sound in the bush. It usually signals that a predator is nearby. The darkness hides the movements of giants here. Every shadow could conceal a lethal set of teeth. A boundary has just been silently crossed tonight. The scent of a stranger now taints the air. It drifts through the territory of the River Pride. This chemical signature is a declaration of open war. The intruder is alone, scarred, and seemingly suicidal. I'm Elias Thorne, and I've been tracking the dynamics of the Okavango's lion populations for over 20 years. The River Pride is a dynasty I know well, 10 strong, led by a coalition of 2 massive brothers. They are untouchable. But this nomad, I've tracked his footprints for 50 miles. We call him the Exile. He is desperate, he is aging, and he is walking straight into a death trap. The dry season forces terrible choices on lions. Waterholes shrink into muddy, contested patches of earth. Prey concentrates in the few remaining green zones. Prides hold these fortresses with absolute, violent jealousy. To remain outside is to slowly starve to death. The Exile has lived on the fringes for months. His ribs show clearly through his dusty, matted coat. He carries the scars of 1,000 solitary skirmishes. Hunger has overridden his instinct for self-preservation. Evolution demands that a male must conquer a pride or die trying. The River Pride sleeps with arrogant, heavy confidence. They control the prime hunting grounds along the channel. Their bellies are full from a recent buffalo kill. The 2 dominant brothers are in their physical prime. They have not faced a real challenge in years. Their roar alone usually sends intruders running for cover. They rely on the strength of their numbers completely. Complacency is often the quiet killer of great kings. They do not yet know the devil is at the gate. Biology dictates the rules of this invisible battlefield. The borders are defined by potent, hormonal chemical signals. A mixture of urine and musk warns all trespassers. To cross it is a deliberate act of aggression. The exile pauses to leave his own mark. He scrapes the earth violently with his hind legs. He urinates on the bush marked by the residents. He is overlaying their scent with his own challenge. It is a biological insult that cannot be ignored. In the language of lions, this is not a request. It is a coup. The roar shatters the stillness of the night. It is a guttural, terrifying sound of absolute challenge. The sound waves travel for miles across the plains. It vibrates in the chest of every living creature. The river pride erupts into immediate, chaotic action. The two dominant brothers are instantly on their feet. Their muscles tense as they pinpoint the intruder's location. The lionesses gather the cubs and retreat into cover. The kings must now answer the call of war. In all my years, I've never seen a challenge this brazen. Usually, a nomad roars from the periphery to test the waters. But the telemetry data shows the exile is already inside the core zone. He isn't knocking on the door, he's already in the living room. He's counting on the darkness and the element of surprise to level the playing field. The brothers move out with synchronized, lethal purpose. They run shoulder to shoulder through the tall grass. They are prime specimens, heavy with muscle and confidence. They expect to find a retreating, terrified trespasser. But the scrubland ahead of them remains silent. The exile has stopped vocalizing to mask his position. He has become a ghost in the long shadows.
This is a tactical ambush, not a formal duel.
He is turning the pride's territory into a trap. Strategy often outweighs brute strength in the animal kingdom.
Contact is made with explosive, violent suddenness.
The exile launches himself from the cover of darkness. He does not target the larger, older pride male. He tackles the younger brother with focused, manic aggression. The impact sounds like two vehicles colliding head-on, Dust explodes into the air, choking the moonlight. The silence is replaced by a cacophony of snarls. Claws tear through skin, seeking purchase in vital arteries. It is a blur of fur, dust, and teeth. The older brother roars and joins the fray. Now the odds shift dramatically against the lone intruder. He is fighting two heavyweights at the same time. Most lions would submit and roll over immediately. Submission is the biological mechanism to prevent fatal injury. You expose your belly to admit total defeat. But the exile keeps his feet under him somehow. He fights with the terrifying ferocity of the damned. He knows that retreating now means death by starvation. This behavior, it defies the standard risk-reward calculus we study. Ethologically speaking, an animal should retreat when the physical cost outweighs the potential genetic gain. Ethologically speaking, an animal should retreat when the physical cost outweighs the potential genetic gain. But look at him. He's taking damage that should cripple him, yet he's focusing his attacks on the younger male's eyes. He's trying to disable one opponent to even the odds. It's not just rage. It's a calculated gamble for survival. The chaos draws the lionesses back into range. They circle the fighting males, agitated and highly aggressive. Their loyalty lies with the fathers of their cubs. They begin to nip at the exile's exposed flanks. He is now surrounded by a wall of enemies. 10 lions are effectively coordinating against a single target. The sheer weight of the pride is overwhelming him. He is being buried under a mountain of muscle. The dust cloud grows thicker, obscuring the violence. We can only hear the sickening sounds of war. The crunch of bone echoes through the night air. The deep resonance of the brothers drowns everything else. Resonance. Then, a sudden, high-pitched yelp cuts through. The younger brother stumbles back, shaking his heavy head. Blood streams freely from a deep gash above his eye. The exile has successfully landed a critical, blinding blow. The dynamic of the fight shifts in an instant. Pain is the great equalizer in a battle of giants. When the moon is high and the wind blows cold across the Moru, the exile utilizes this split second of hesitation. He spins violently to face the older, dominant male. He does not back down or look for escape. He roars directly into the face of the king. It is a moment of pure, adrenaline-fueled insanity. He stands his ground against the ruler of the river. His mane is matted with blood and thick dust. He looks less like a lion, more like a monster. Fear momentarily flickers in the eyes of the king. This is the hero moment of biology, where individual will momentarily override the statistics. The River Pride male is confused. He has the numbers, he has the strength, but he lacks the desperation. He sees an opponent who simply refuses to die. And in the animal kingdom, an opponent who doesn't care about living is the most dangerous thing you can face. The fighting pauses as exhaustion takes its toll. Both sides heave for breath in the heavy air. They stand 5 yards apart, chests heaving like bellows. The lionesses pace nervously, unsure of whether to attack. The exile is battered, tired, and standing on 3 legs. His left foreleg hangs uselessly, lightly broken or dislocated. But he holds his head high, ears pinned back. He bares his teeth in a silent, grim snarl. He has survived the initial onslaught against impossible odds. He has bought himself 1 more hour. The sun rises over a broken landscape. It reveals the devastating toll of the night's violence. Patches of blood dry quickly on the golden grass. The River Pride brothers are licking their own wounds. The exile is slowly limping away from the battle. He moves on 3 legs, his broken limb dragging. He does not run, for he has no energy left. He walks with a slow, agonizingly rhythmic gait. The residents watch him go, but they do not pursue. A neutralized threat is no longer worth the energy to kill. We tracked him for 2 more days. He didn't make it far, maybe 3 miles to the edge of the marsh. The infection in his leg set in within hours. Watching a lion of this caliber fade away is the hardest part of the job. You want to intervene, to fix the leg, to give him a second chance. But that isn't science, and it isn't conservation, that's interference. Nature's accounting is brutal and strictly mathematical. The Exile wagered everything on a probability of success. He needed a territory to pass on his genius. Without it, his life's biological purpose remained unfulfilled. His life's biased the gamble, but he played the hand. He eventually collapses in the shade of a thorn bush. Biological purpose. His breathing becomes shallow, his eyes glazing over. The scavengers are already gathering in the trees above. His life's Bible. He dies as he lived, fighting for a place in history. The river pride returns to their daily rhythm. The cubs emerge from the thickets, blinking in the sunlight. The injured brother will heal. His scars will fade. The hierarchy remains intact, strengthened by the trial. The gene pool is filtered through violence. Only the strongest defenders keep the right to sire. The Exile tested them, and they proved worthy. The cycle of the savannah resets once again. One life ends, so the dynasty can be proven strong. There is no tragedy here, only the perfection of evolution. The Exile's death was a natural conclusion to a brutal life. But for many male lions, the story ends too soon. Not because of rivals, but because of snares, poison, and shrinking habitats. The nomad's gamble is becoming impossible to win when there is nowhere left to roam. The organization works tirelessly to secure wildlife corridors, giving lions like the Exile the space they need to live. We are their only buffer against extinction. To help us keep these corridors open, join our Patreon community.